My fiancé Syed, I'm too young to be tied down. I need to explore my options. After 3 years together, I said explore away. She came back 6 months later, ready to commit. I rejected her saying I don't need you anymore, and the cha erupted. She told me she was just too young and hot to settle down. She said she needed to explore what was out there. Right after making me pay the $5,000 non-refundable deposit for our wedding, she called me husband material. Said she'd circle back when she was ready like I was a sofa on layaway. I just looked at her, and I said, explore all you need to. My fiancée Olivia said, I'm just too young and hot right now to settle down. I need to explore what's out there before committing. This was 3 weeks after she made me put down a $5,000 non-refundable deposit on our dream wedding venue. She told me I was total husband material, someone she'd circle back to when she was ready. Like I was a piece of furniture on layaway. I stayed calm, looked her right in the eye. Explore all you need to. I'm Liam, 29 years old. I design and build custom furniture. Its detailed work takes focus, but there's satisfaction in making something solid, something real with your own hands. My fiancée, Olivia, 27, she was different. An aspiring influencer, always chasing the perfect photo, the right filter, more followers. Image was everything to her. We'd been together 3 years, engaged for 1. We were planning the wedding. She found the venue, of course. Some rustic chic barn conversion that looked great on Instagram but cost a fortune. She insisted we had to book it immediately, that specific dates were filling up fast. The pressure was intense. It required a $5,000 deposit, non-refundable. Against my better judgment, worried about stretching finances thin, I paid it. 3 weeks later, we're at some trendy bar she wanted to try. She stares into her cocktail, twisting her hair. Liam, babe, we need to pause, she says. That feeling hits my stomach, the one you get before bad news. I love you, she continues. You're total husband material, but I feel trapped. She talks about needing experiences, about being young, about wanting to see other people before settling down. Get it out of her system, she calls it. She actually called it a sabbatical for my single life. And the kicker. She genuinely expected me to just wait. Put everything on hold while she went off to explore. Don't be silly, Liam. She laughed when I told her this was permanent. We're endgame. You'll wait. That phrase, husband material, kept ringing in my ears. Not a partner. Material. Something useful to keep in storage until needed. So I said, okay. If you need to explore, you should. But we are permanently over. I put cash down for my drink and walked out, leaving her there looking shocked. I went straight home. Called the venue first thing. Confirmed the $5,000 was gone just like that. Then I picked up my phone. Blocked her number. Blocked her on Instagram, Facebook, everywhere. No angry messages, no final arguments. Just deleted. A clean, decisive action. She wanted space to explore. I gave her all the space in the world. We're often taught that strength means confrontation, arguing to win. But there's another kind of power, maybe a greater one, the power to choose not to play the game at all. This quiet exit isn't weakness. It's the strategy of someone who realizes the fight isn't worth their energy anymore. When I walked out of that bar and blocked her number, I wasn't surrendering. I was taking away her biggest weapon, the argument she craved, the drama she expected. By refusing to participate in her narrative, I neutralized her demands. It's a paradox, really. Sometimes the only way to win is to refuse the battle. You calmly leave the board, taking your self-respect with you, and leave them alone with the empty game they created. 6 months went by. Just like that. 6 months of quiet focus. Olivia was out there exploring, or so I heard through the grapevine. Friends mentioned seeing her Instagram stories. Different guys' fancy cocktails, trips I knew she couldn't afford. Someone mentioned a disastrous trip to Bali funded entirely on credit cards. Sounded like her exploration wasn't quite the glamorous adventure she'd imagined. Me, I poured everything into my work. The quiet was actually productive. I landed a big commission designing all the feature pieces for a new boutique hotel lobby. Got a couple of mentions in some online design blogs which brought in more orders. I even started going out a bit more. Met Chloe, a graphic designer working on the same hotel project. Smart, funny, grounded. We grabbed coffee a few times, kept it casual. It felt normal, easy. Then one evening, after finishing up late at the workshop, I found Olivia sitting on the steps outside my loft building. Not influencer Olivia. This was calculated. She was wearing my old university sweatshirt, the one she refused to give back when we first moved in together. Her eyes were red-rimmed. Liam. She started standing up as I approached. I made a huge mistake. I stopped a few feet away, didn't invite her closer. Did you? Yes, she sobbed. Exploring was stupid. It was lonely. It wasn't real. You're real. We're real. Please, can we just talk? There's nothing to talk about, Olivia. You made your choice. I made mine. But I choose you now. It doesn't work like that. I'm seeing someone actually. That part wasn't exactly true, not seriously, but I needed a hard stop. A boundary she couldn't manipulate. Her face crumpled. Already who? Doesn't matter, I said, unlocking the main door. What matters is you need to respect my decision just like I respected yours 6 months ago. Goodbye. I went inside, closed the door firmly, and didn't look back. That rejection lit a fuse. The quiet campaign turned into an offensive. She started showing up at my workshop during business hours, pretending to browse, asking about commissions I knew she couldn't afford. Then came the deliveries. Flowers with cryptic notes about us. A framed photo from our first vacation. That old sweatshirt mailed back to me. When I didn't respond, she escalated online. Created fake profiles, leaving comments on my business Instagram page. Things like, "Remember our trip here?" under a photo of a piece inspired by nature, or "So proud of you, always knew you'd make it big," under the design blog feature. It was unsettling, calculated to look like we were still connected, or maybe to scare off anyone new. She even called my dad Michael. Fed him some story about how I was misunderstanding things, how she just needed space but always intended to come back. Dad called me right after. "Son?" He said, his voice calm but firm. "That Olivia called? Sounds like she's trying to rewrite history." "You okay?" "Yeah, Dad, just dealing with it." "All right. Just remember you don't owe anyone explanations for protecting your peace." Solid advice. Then came the twist I didn't expect. An email from a burner account. No subject line. The message was short. "Hey, I dated Olivia briefly a few months ago during her exploration. Saw her recent posts attacking you. Just wanted to say she told me you guys were basically over, that you were holding her back financially, and she was planning to leave anyway. She plays victim well. Be careful. Good luck." No name, no return address. But it was validation. Proof that her narrative was a deliberate construction. That email was the turning point for me. This wasn't just heartbreak anymore. It was harassment, potentially escalating. I forwarded the anonymous email to my lawyer friend Richard, explained everything that had happened since the breakup. His advice was immediate and clear. Document everything, every call, text, visit, fake profile, gift. Install cameras. We need a pattern. So I did. Installed a high-res security camera covering my workshop entrance and another covering my apartment door upstairs. Started a detailed log, dates, times, descriptions of every interaction, screenshots of every message or comment. It felt cold, methodical, but necessary. This wasn't about emotion anymore. It was about building a case. Protecting myself step by logical step. The reckoning was just beginning. The exhibition was a huge step for me. My first solo show. Months of work, late nights in the workshop, perfecting every joint, every finish. The gallery was buzzing opening night. Clients were there, some press people, even a few collectors I admired. Chloe came looking incredible, genuinely excited for me. It felt good. Like validation for all the quiet hours I'd put in. I was talking to a potential buyer, explaining the joinery on a complex desk piece when I saw her. "Olivia, standing near the entrance, dressed in something black and dramatic, scanning the room like a predator. My stomach tightened. How did she even know about this? She spotted me and started walking over, ignoring the art, ignoring everyone else. She stopped right in front of us, interrupting the conversation mid-sentence. "Liam," she said, her voice dripping with fake sweetness. "We need to talk. Now." I kept my voice low, professional. "Olivia, this isn't the time or place. You're not welcome here. Please leave." Her eyes flicked to Chloe, standing quietly beside me. "Oh," Olivia sneered. "You must be the rebound. He always did have questionable taste." Chloe just raised an eyebrow, didn't take the bait, looked at me. Olivia raised her voice clearly, intending for others to hear. "He'll come back to me, you know. He's just trying to make me jealous. This little phase won't last." The chatter in the gallery died down. People were turning, watching. This was exactly what she wanted. A scene. "Security," I said, catching the gallery owner's eye across the room. As two guards started moving towards us, Olivia took a step back, feigning indignation. And then it happened. She stumbled, bumping hard against a waist-high pedestal near her. On top of it was one of my smaller, more intricate pieces, a delicate carved wooden box sculpture I'd spent weeks on. It wobbled, tipped, and crashed onto the polished concrete floor, shattering into several pieces. A collective gasp went through the room. Olivia looked down at the wreckage. "Oops," she said, her voice utterly devoid of remorse. The guards grabbed her arms. "Get her out," I repeated, my voice flat cold. Any shred of lingering sentiment I might have had vanished in that moment. As they pulled her towards the exit, she started screaming, "You belong to me, Liam. You can't get rid of me. This isn't over." Then she was gone, leaving behind a stunned silence and the splintered remains of my work. The mask had completely dropped. In front of everyone who mattered to my career, she'd shown exactly who she was. It's interesting how justice works now. Initially, Olivia controlled the stage. The private conversations, the calls to my family, the fake online profiles. In those spaces, she could spin her narrative. But then the stage shifted, expanded to a place with more objective judges, the gallery filled with dozens of witnesses, and more importantly, the unblinking eye of the security camera. That's the modern court of public opinion, amplified by digital proof. Unlike friends or family, who might be swayed by emotion or history, strangers and cameras just record the facts. The footage of her deliberate sabotage, the eyewitness accounts, that became irrefutable evidence. It shows a crucial shift in power in our time. It's not just about who has status or money anymore. It's also about who holds the digital proof. In a world where almost anything can be recorded, your actions become your permanent record, and anyone with a screen can potentially become the jury. The exhibition incident was the catalyst. With the gallery security footage and multiple witness statements, Richard, my lawyer friend, filed for the emergency protective order the very next morning. The court hearing was scheduled quickly. Olivia showed up with a lawyer who looked like he'd rather be anywhere else, and her mother Karen glaring daggers at me. Olivia tried to play the part. Subdued dress, teary eyes, claiming it was all a misunderstanding, just an emotional reaction from a woman still deeply in love. Her lawyer argued she simply wanted closure, that my actions were unnecessarily cruel. Richard remained calm, methodical. He presented the binder. "Your Honor," he began, "this isn't about closure. This is a pattern of escalating harassment." He laid it all out, the initial breakup terms. Olivia herself set the 6 months of silence, then her sudden reappearance. The unwanted visits to the workshop logged meticulously. The fake social media accounts with screenshots. The calls to my father. The anonymous email from the man she dated corroborating her lies. Then came the gallery incident. Richard played the security footage. Silent, grainy, but undeniable. Olivia approaching aggressively. Her words might be unheard, but her body language screamed confrontation. Chloe stepping back. Olivia bumping the pedestal, the sculpture shattering, her complete lack of reaction followed by her screaming exit. Richard also submitted signed statements from the gallery owner, 2 staff members, and 3 guests who witnessed it. Olivia's lawyer weakly attempted damage control, calling it an accident during a moment of distress. The judge, a sharp woman in her 50s, wasn't buying it. She looked directly at Olivia. "Miss Olivia," she said, her voice cutting through the room. "You initiated the end of this engagement under terms you defined. Mr. Liam accepted those terms. 6 months later, you decided you wanted him back. When he declined, citing a new relationship and the finality of your initial decision, you began a campaign of harassment that culminated in trespassing at a professional event and destroying his property. Is that an accurate summary?" Olivia started to cry, real tears this time perhaps. "He provoked me. He flaunted his new girlfriend." The judge sighed. "His moving on with his life after you ended the engagement is not provocation. Your exploration, as you called it, ended your claim to his time, his attention, and certainly his place of business." She looked down at the evidence binder, then back at Olivia. "The evidence of harassment is substantial. The incident at the gallery is particularly concerning." She paused, letting the silence hang heavy. "Restraining order is granted. 2 years. 1,000-foot distance. No contact, direct or indirect, including via third parties or social media." Then she added, "And Ms. Olivia, you will pay restitution to Mr. Liam for the destroyed artwork valued at $3,000 within 90 days. Checkmate." Outside the courthouse, Olivia was shell-shocked, but her mother, Karen, wasn't done. She marched right up to me. "Are you happy now? You set out to ruin her life." Before I could even respond, Richard stepped smoothly between us. "Ma'am," he said politely but firmly, "you might want to remember the terms of the protective order. No contact, direct or indirect, including via third parties. Continuing this conversation could be considered a violation. Have a nice day." Karen sputtered, glared, but finally backed down, pulling a stunned Olivia away. It was finally truly over. Life settled into a new rhythm after the court date. A quieter rhythm. The noise from Olivia's side faded, replaced mostly by third-hand reports. Her influencing gigs dried up almost overnight. Apparently, brands weren't keen on being associated with someone whose public meltdown and restraining order were now easily searchable online. She ended up moving back home with her parents, Karen and her father. Her social media shifted from party pictures to vague quotes about resilience and healing from betrayal, though the comments sections were apparently brutal until she limited them. The narrative she tried to build, the one where she was the victim, just didn't stick when confronted with the facts. Meanwhile, my life started building. The exhibition, despite the dramatic ending, actually generated significant buzz. Orders picked up. The design blogs that covered the opening focused on the work, thankfully not the drama, though a few gossip columns had a field day. My workshop became my sanctuary again, filled with the scent of wood shavings and the steady rhythm of creation. Chloe and I kept seeing each other, slowly, carefully. After the chaos of the exhibition night, she'd just looked at me and said, "Well, that was memorable. Pizza." Her calmness, her refusal to be drawn into Olivia's storm was exactly what I needed. We're building something quiet, something based on mutual respect, shared interests, and showing up for each other without needing an audience. It feels solid, like the furniture I build. Looking back, Olivia's phrase, husband material, haunts me, but differently now. She saw stability, reliability, the ability to provide, all the things I value in myself, not as qualities of a partner, but as features of an object. Something dependable she could store away and retrieve later. She didn't understand that the same hands that patiently craft a piece of furniture, the same mind that methodically plans a project, could also methodically dismantle a connection built on disrespect. My strength isn't just in building things, it's in knowing what foundations are worth building on. And hers wasn't. It's easy to feel satisfied when someone who wronged you faces consequences. There's a certain neatness to it, a sense of cosmic balance. But let's imagine a different outcome. What if after I walked out, Olivia hadn't spiraled? What if my business hadn't taken off? What if she'd found happiness quickly and I'd struggled for a while? Would my decision still have been the right one? Absolutely. Yes. We get caught up in results, judging choices by their outcomes. But the real value of what I did wasn't measured by the restraining order, or her failures, or my success. It was measured in that moment. I stood up in that cocktail bar, put down the cash, and chose my self-respect over tolerating her toxic terms. The victory wasn't getting the restraining order. The victory happened the second I refused to be put on layaway. Success in life, the career boost, finding Chloe. Those are wonderful additions, beautiful consequences. But the win, the real checkmate for my own soul, happened the moment I honored my own worth, regardless of what came next. So now life is just life. Work. I love someone I care about, who respects me, peace in my own home. Olivia is out there somewhere dealing with the fallout of her choices. I don't wish her ill, honestly. I just don't think about her much at all. Living well isn't just the best revenge. Sometimes it's simply the natural state when you remove the source of the chaos. You can't build a solid future on shaky ground, and you definitely can't build it with someone who thinks commitment is something you can pause like a streaming service. Some doors, once you close them, need to stay locked. Ultimately, you cannot build a future with someone who sees your commitment as a convenience, something to be paused and resumed whenever they feel like it. Choose yourself over waiting for someone who needs to go explore. True self-worth means refusing to be anyone's backup plan. What's the biggest red flag you might have ignored early on, hoping someone would eventually change? Share your story down in the comments. Let's learn from each other. If Liam's journey resonated with you, show some support with a like and subscribe for more stories about reclaiming your power with strategy and self-respect. And click here to check out our next video where we break down the most common relationship pause buttons and why they almost never work.